Well, we are here with Kiki Allgeier, the producer of the film FEMMEfille. And the film is about Isabell Caro, a French model with anorexia. And Kiki Allgeier told her story in her film. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What was your main reason for making this film?
My main reason for making this film, I think, was I thought this was something that we should look at in kind of a condensed film, a condensed place, what was happening to Isabell and kind of the world's participation, society's participation with her and her being anorexic. So this was really, I thought this was important to look at it in one place and also to tell Isabell's story that I think she really needed it to get told, and I didn't think it was being properly told in the media.
And why did you call the film FEMMEfille?
FEMMEfille, it translates in English to woman girl. And I think this was really a way to describe this kind of place that Isabell was stuck in. She wanted so much to be a woman, to become different from her as a child. She changed her name, she changed her physical appearance and got operations. She lost a lot of weight to, I think, completely change herself from being her mother's daughter to being her own woman. But in this process, she couldn't let go of the little girl. And so I think constantly she was in battle with wanting to be a woman, but still being a little girl. I mean, so much to the point that with her anorexia, she stayed literally small. So this is why I called the film Woman Girl or FEMMEfille.
How would you describe the relationship between Isabell and you?
The relationship between Isabell and myself was a very complicated relationship. We both were the same, more or less the same age. She was. I found out later that she was 2 years older than me, but at the time she told me that we were born on the same year and our birthdays are only 3 days apart. So we had this, I think, mirroring of each other to each other, and kind of wrestling with our own stories by dealing with each other. Her and I have a very similar back history with our parents. So I think, for me, to tell her story properly was exercising some of my own demons. So our relationship was complicated. It was complicated, but at the same time, I think there was respect and some sort of trust in the storytelling that I was doing for her.
So you would call it friendship or not?
I would call it friendship, but not the type of close friendship that I have with my friends. I think I was definitely a friend to her in that I really cared. I cared about what was happening to her. I cared about listening to her, which I think is key for friendship. So I tried to be as good of a friend as I could in the situation. But, I'm not sure that Isabell knew how to be a good friend. I wouldn't call her a good friend to me. She didn't know how to give back, because anorexia, I think, is also, a rather narcissistic disorder. You're constantly thinking about yourself, about your body, and so you're not really taking in the person in front of you. So I think in that light, I'm not sure Isabell could be a friend, but I tried to be a friend to her.
After she died, you got private videos from her. And how did you feel when you got to know about them?
It was a shock, definitely. I think when I saw my name on the tape, this was really emotional for me. And to watch it and hear her talking, I mean, she always had that camera around. I saw it, and I saw her using it. So I knew that these tapes existed, but I didn't think about it, that I would get them at some point. So then once I got into looking at the footage, this was really, I guess the main word I could use is shocked, because she's talking about our time together. It's very intimate, you know. It's kind of this, like, I think we all know what selfies are today. It was like looking at a private archive of selfies that in some way it's like she knew that they were going to be used in the end. So they're very kind of bizarre material and very intimate material, but so I felt shocked. Yeah.
Did you try to help her? And if yes, how?
I guess, yes, I tried to help her by listening. I think it's such a simple thing to do, to listen to another person, really listen and hear what they're telling you, and try and be there for someone. I think especially someone with anorexia, you know, it's a cry to be heard, to be understood. This was my way of trying to help her, was to be genuine in my act of understanding her story. I wanted to listen as best I could and find whatever truth it is that I think she wanted to express. So that's how I tried to help her. And after she passed away, obviously, how I tried to help her is to make this film from knowing her as best as I could, telling her story the way I think she would have wanted it to be told.
Which part was the most shocking for you?
I think the most shocking thing for me in the editing room was in the editing room with my editor Geza Martin, when we put all the material together, and to really see the truth in Isabell's story come out. You know, it's like I absorbed so much material over such a long period of time, that to then be in a condensed space and to place, you know, these photographs from her childhood with the stories of her childhood, all of a sudden it had a very different meaning to me, because these stories really look like reality, as crazy as they were. I mean, her stories about her childhood are bogus. It would be hard to think that this actually happened. So I think this was the most shocking thing for me, was to see kind of the truth be revealed, at least her truth be revealed, and believe it.
So what is your next project?
My next film, I'm working on a narrative fiction film that takes place in the circus. So this is my next project.
So thank you for the interview.
Thank you guys.